Hey guys, it's me Charlie. So I'm doing a video today on how to make baby fry fish food. So what you'll need is some warm water. You could just use regular warm sink water. Your fish food that you would normally feed your fish. And a little container to be able to put the fish food in, and your chopsticks so you can go ahead and mix your fish food. And you're going to need some kind of a little container to keep the baby fish food in. And this is actually the brine shrimp eggs that come in these little tubes that you can get at Petco. So what we'll do is I'm going to use my regular Tetracolor tropical fish flakes, and I'll go ahead and show you guys how I'm going to do this. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is just open up your container of fish food, and I'm going to get out just a little teaspoon. I'm going to go ahead and mix this inside here. So there is really no certain amount that you want to put in, just whatever you think you would want to make. I'm only going to make probably about this much fish food, so about that much. So probably like the width of the cap. And so I'm just going to guess this. So I'm probably going to be using it looks to me about 3 tablespoons. Alright, so we're done with the fish flakes. I'm going to go ahead and add the hot water. The reason why I'm adding hot water because it's always much easier to mix things when they're hot instead of cold. During this process, as you're mixing it, you should add a little bit at a time, and just take your chopstick or whatever you're using to make this. I'm using a small little container because this is one of those little creamers that you can actually pour cream, like half and a half, or milk into your coffee. So it has a little bit of a lip here, so that way it'll be easy for me to pour it into this little vial. You're going to want to keep stirring this and breaking it up, and you're going to want to try to make some kind of a little liquidy paste. If you've bought baby fry fish food before, you have an idea of what it looks like. And what you could do is kind of remember that consistency and try to make this. And the reason why I'm breaking this down into a liquid form and I'm only doing a small amount is I do not want to make a bunch, because if for any reason this starts to go bad, I just wasted a bunch of my fish flake food. Now, feeding your baby fish when they're born a day or two later, sometimes they'll eat the fish flake food and they'll survive, but most of the time they don't find food particles small enough and they start to die off, even if you take them and put them in another tank separate from the parents. Now, I actually have little feeder breeder guppies that have the multiple colors on their body. If anybody knows what those are called, you've seen my videos before. I'll actually, let me show you real fast. Not a very good video, but I just realized that I can actually focus in on this camera. I had no idea. The button's right here, so watch, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and look at that, blurry. That's for like distances. And then to get a good close-up, I can change it. So this looks better. I had no idea I can do this. I feel so dumb. But if anybody can remember what those are called, I buy them at the pet store, 10 for $1. I have the females, and they actually give me babies like every 2 to 3 weeks. But the babies don't always survive. So this is the reason why I'm making this video. Alright, so let me put you back on my tripod. Okay, so after you're done making this, you're going to want to store this in the refrigerator so it'll keep nice and cool. I wouldn't recommend freezing it, just refrigerate it, because this is actually fish food that can go bad. It's got oils in it. It's got, fish food is made of other fish that have been processed. Fish meal, dried yeast, shrimp meal, ground brown rice, wheat gluten, oats, fish oil, potato protein, soy oil, algae meal. It's got a huge list of things in here, plus a lot of vitamins and minerals. And something like this is going to go bad. And so I am just going to make a small batch of it. So I'm actually stirring this enough that it's breaking down. Now, I stirred that for probably about 3 minutes. And that's probably good enough for me because it's going to continue to break down when it's in the vial. So I'm going to do the best I can to pour this in here without making a mess. Oh, wow. Actually, you know what? I said I was going to make a little bit. But look what it did. It filled the whole vial. So I calculated a little too much. That's okay. I have all kinds of babies that could eat that, plus adult fish, so I gotta make sure that I'm only feeding a certain amount because I don't want this stuff clouding up my water and making it polluted and go bad and all that. So I got the most I can out of that. Alright, so now this made a whole vial. I didn't really calculate that much, but as you can see there, it's liquidy and it's going to continue to break down. And in order for it to break down, I would probably leave it on the counter here for maybe a half hour to an hour. I'm just going to guess that. And then when I'm done trying to feed the baby fish, I'll go ahead and put it in my refrigerator because it'll store nicely. And then this is probably a good supply for up to 2 to 3 weeks. Every time you go to open it up, try to memorize the smell, and it smells exactly like fish flakes. If you actually open up your fish food, it'll smell just like that, even though it's in with a little bit of water. So try to smell it every day, every couple of days, because you want this stuff to smell exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and feed this. So we're done with this. And I kind of want to show you guys. So let's see. I seem to always be using this fish tank as an example every time I make a video. Alright. Oopsie. There's my ram's horn. These guys breed like crazy. Just way too fast. Alright, so this is the part you gotta be really careful. I would recommend using an eyedropper. I have an eyedropper, but it's put away and I don't want to go and grab it and make you guys wait. I'd recommend having an eyedropper next to you. There's a couple other products you could use. I can't remember the names at the moment. But if you're just gonna do it directly from here, be very careful that you don't overdo it because you can totally mess up your fish tank. So let's see what we get. Woo, like that. I just put a lot in there, so it's kind of liquidy, but the fish and the baby fish are going to do their best to eat that. And so far I see a tiny baby eating it, but I don't see, there's some adults. And you notice the adults didn't really go after it because it was so small. Now I have the filter turned off. You want to make sure your filter's turned off. And if you're using a filter, use a sponge filter. That way the babies don't get sucked up. My filter actually has small openings and they don't get sucked up in there. And so I'm okay with that. But at the same time, I'm not trying to keep all the babies because I don't want to have that many fish in here. But I saw a few little babies towards the bottom. They're actually hanging out towards the bottom and inside the little bushes here. So just want to show you guys how I make baby fish food for your live bearers or your egg layers. And I would recommend making this in advance and letting it sit so that way all the liquid can actually absorb into the fish food and become a slight paste. And then remember to shake it up and smell it, and then go ahead and feed it to your little fish. And if they like it, they will eat it. If they don't like it, then you're going to have to figure out another method or actually buy the baby fish food. Now this is just a cheap way of making baby fish food. If you have expensive fish, I'd recommend you buying Daphnia brine shrimp eggs to hatch out, brine shrimp, bloodworms, live bloodworms, and tubifix worms, and buy all those things that you need for the babies, and do the micro worm so that way you can have a constant healthy amount of worms and live food supply for these little ones. So if you guys have any questions, don't forget to comment and rate, and definitely subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Where are my shrimp? Oh, there's my shrimp. Oh yeah, I can do a better view of my shrimp. Let me see. There's my cherry shrimp. Wow, finally! I feel so stupid making these videos when they were blurry. Looks like the brine shrimp likes it. That's a girl. I have 3 girls in here that I know of, and 2 boys. These guys are young. That one there's a little bit older. He's pretty. When he's showing, he opens up his tail and it turns black because he's got a little black trim. Here's another one. That made me a little bit dizzy. Okay, see you guys in the next video.